Chicago, Robert Costa, Washington, D.C. editor for the National Review and a CNBC contributor who just returned from Iowa. Viviana Hurtado, founder and editor-in-chief of the Wise Latina Club blog, and Democratic pollster Margie Omero. Hello, all. Mr. Costa, I'm going to start with you since you just came from Iowa, moderating this Republican Senate debate, which I want to get to in a few minutes. But, boy, the Ted Cruz freight train just moves through Iowa, and I have to say, I can't tell you the number, and I know you hear the same thing, the number of Republicans all sort of on background off the record who are just like throwing up their hands like going, did this guy learn nothing from the shutdown?
No, you see a lot of Republicans frustrated, but when I was in Iowa and I was at Drake University in Des Moines, almost every single candidate on that stage running for U.S. Senate in the Republican primary citing Ted Cruz. They're
in
not
a positive way.
In a positive way, as the model.
Yeah.
And that is what I think is really you're going to see across the country, especially in more red state primaries in 2014. The Cruz model, using Cruz as a way to win a primary.
And this is then, Viviana, this is sort of the Republican Party. Nationally, you have all these people going, wait, we wanted to fix the party. We wanted to go here. We wanted to appeal to Latinos. And all of a sudden, here's Ted Cruz, Hispanic politician hanging out with Steve King. That's not a way to win over
That's
Latinos.
Exactly what I thought. I think everybody that was talking about cantaloupes this summer must be thinking like, oh my gosh. Here's the thing. What's next? Let's just say that he can win a primary. Are we going to be destined to just a history of a Democratic White House stronghold and then a GOP stronghold in the House? And that means that absolutely nothing is going to get done. We're going to live in perennial shutdowns, brinkmanship when it comes to debt ceiling and deficits. Nothing is going to move forward, and that's incredibly detrimental to our economy, certainly to our global competitiveness. So this is something that the party needs to think about and that voters need to think about too.
Now, Margie, so how are Democrats doing this? Are they contributing to Ted Cruz every day? I mean, is this, that's sort of the running joke, right? They everybody's cheering Ted Cruz on. In the
right, maybe those are all those activists he said he got on his list as a result of the shutdown. Look, his numbers are, the more people have gotten to know him, the worse his numbers get.
Unless you affiliate yourself with the Tea Party. No. You look at, his numbers are through the roof among half of the Republican Party, and they're going down among everywhere else.
Look, Mitt Romney was net unfavorable almost the entire campaign, not just at the end when things are negative, almost the entire time. Ted Cruz right now, he's become better known, and all that new notoriety has come from unfavorability. He can't win a general election. Whatever happens in the primary, you can't win a general election being 15, 20, 30 points net unfavorable for 2 years. It's just not going to happen.
Robert, there's one Republican in Washington that has a net positive favorable rating, and he is a pariah inside his own party.
He may be a pariah,
McCain.
right? McCain. Look.
It's once again, it's like there's a reminder here. There is the middle doesn't like.
But the middle is not the story right now. When you're talking to conservatives inside the Republican Party, they always hear about how 2016, if Republicans nominate Cruz, it's going to be like 1964, like Goldwater. But that's not how Republicans, especially conservatives, see it. They see this as more a 1976 moment.
Watershed moment.
Instead of going toward a Ford candidate in 16, go toward the Reagan in 1976 or in 2016. They think this is the moment to finally break from the center-right hold on the party.
I want to shift a little bit to Hillary Clinton. Just to hear, this is not how Clintons ran for president and ran to run the Democratic Party 24 years ago.
Right. And so I think what will be really interesting in the next few years is think about 2014. Who actually turns out to vote? How does the economy performing? Because we have really what people have called a jobless economy or a part-time economy. Think about the issues that will rally people. What's going to happen with immigration? And how will that impact, for example, voter turnout, not only in 2014 among a group that's not really big into voting in off-year elections, but how would that impact the psyche for Latino voters in 2016?
Well, I think in general,
how's she going to win 11th Pennsylvania?
I think turnouts are going to be way down in 2014. But this progressive push by Hillary Clinton, it's not what you hear from a Clinton.
Well, has she become more progressive, or has the Republican Party gone so far to the right that now she's a progressive because they're
the party brought her to there, but she's certainly using the language. She's certainly using the language that Bill Clinton never used.
That's fair. But some of these issues, whether it's stronger gun laws, equal pay, those are issues that enjoy wide majority support. Immigration reform, even with Republicans. So.
All right, you guys are coming back because we're hoping to get this political mood thing that we've been trying to do all week. But up next, we're going to make you put on your political imagination and test it out a little bit. What would have happened if President Kennedy had lived to serve 2 full terms as president? Author and So does your personality and political styles fit into the state in which you live? A new study is getting a lot of attention on the web. Because why not? Researchers spent 12 years conducting personality tests on nearly 2 million people in the lower 48 and Washington, D.C. I guess they didn't have the money to go to Alaska or Hawaii. And this is what they found. There are 3 distinct regions of personalities. Friendly and conventional is the blue you see here. Relaxed and creative is the green, and temperamental and uninhibited is in orange. So let's bring back our Friday gaggle, Robert Costa, Viviana Hurtado, and Margie Omero. All right, Margie, you're the pollster. What did you make of this? Did it fit? You see this in the orange, and okay, the West, Silicon Valley, that sort of fit. The idea that they're the creative ones, I'll buy that.
Right. Well, people want to move where folks like them are because they want to feel that they're a community.
Do you think we do this? That we do move into a tribe? We want to go to like-minded tribes? That
yes.
Midwest, so we look at the blue, the Midwestern nice.
Yes. Right. Minnesota nice and Midwestern nice. Yeah. Look, I'm from New Jersey. This temperamental and uninhibited.
Yeah, you're okay with that?
That rings true for me a little bit. That seems very familiar from if I look at everyone in my family. So, I mean, people want to stay stay where they're from and then move to places where they feel welcome and they feel like they're going to fit in. And so this makes sense.
And, interesting here, the politics of it, the friendly and conventional, it was both the South and the Midwest that had that. Of course, Midwest a little more swing or even blue leaning. South, obviously very red leaning.
No, it's a fascinating study. I think politicians feed on this. Politicians create their personas often on the personality of their regions, and you see that in almost every race across the country. And
that is what it. I mean, the thing is, we look at these and we have a little pop psych thing, but Robert's right. Politicians do end up representing the style of where they're from.
The cowboy boots, yeah.
Although I don't know if Cruz actually would fit in well more in New Jersey.
Right, Chris temperamental,
right? Right. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out why I left California to come to New England.
California's so creative. Now you're wondering, what am I doing here?
What am I doing here? I think what's going to be really interesting.
By the way, Washington, D.C. was just, Washington, we were all in this morass of gray.
Exactly.
Right?
Look at that. Tell me something new.
Most disagreeable place in the country, Washington, D.C.
Shocking there,
I know.
Huh? Yeah, who would have thought that? Seen that coming?
I'd like to know what's going to happen with millennials and with some of these new voters that are coming up that kind of display, a little bit of everything. And I think that'll be really interesting as we go forward.
They're creatively temperamental.
And how it is, exactly. Right. And inhibited or uninhibited.
Way too uninhibited.
It'll be really interesting to see how political campaigns and politicians are able to, I guess, be chameleons and attract these newer voters.
I want to actually, very quickly before I make you guys do shameless plugs, the Doug Gansler story, Democratic Attorney General in Maryland. I say this because we're in this weird, Margie, I don't know if he's a client. I don't want to, or if you're doing it, or if you're in that state, and I don't want to put you in an awkward position, but on one hand, parents are parents. On the other hand, you're the top cop. This bad story for a minute.
It's a bad story to be around legal behavior if you're running for office. It doesn't matter.
Right, never matter whether you're the top cop or not.
Right, exactly. And it doesn't matter. And, he puts these qualifiers, well, I was out of state and so on. I mean, he's going to have to reshape that answer a little bit, I think, if he wants to appeal to folks. Even if other parents may say, well, I've been in that situation or I know people in that situation, nonetheless, you're running for top office. You need to...
Everything in politics comes down to judgment. Yeah. I really believe that after covering it for a few years.
Yeah, and a voter does just look at it and it's a gut test.
Yeah.
You may not pass that gut test for people. Shameless plugs, Viviana, you first.
To baby Elle, my niece, happy 3rd birthday, 3 and fabulous. And to the runners of the marathons this weekend, Marine Corps and Cape Cod, you guys rock.
By the way, the weather's perfect for marathon. Thank God. Go ahead, Mark.
Last week we did focus groups with Walmart moms in Nashville and Kansas City. Karen Finney did a great segment on her show. Some great results at Purple Strategies and at WalmartMomsResearch.com.
I need to take a look at it.
A big shout out to my favorite band, Fish. They're having a great fall tour. I'm going to see them in Hartford with Politico's Jake Sherman this Sunday.
You're a Fish guy. Interesting. Hey, this weekend and tonight I want to remember Lee Bandy. He was the man you had to know and see. Great reporter down in South Carolina. He passed away this week. A lot of us who admired his work for years are thinking about him and thinking about his family. That's it for this edition of the Daily Run.